Hello Year 5, welcome to day 2 of art. Now today we are looking at experimenting with line drawing. It's not like line dancing, don't get excited, although if you want to put some Western music on in the background, be my guest. Okay, so this is your warm-up today. You'll find this piece of paper on the website, however, it's just a blank piece of paper with different headings. So have a look at it, but maybe write your own headings on a piece of paper instead of printing it out. And then you can use all the space you would like. Now, obviously, at school, we could provide you with all sorts of different mediums, which is different things to use to make art with. But just because we're at home doesn't mean the art stops. So have a think about what kind of things you have at home that you can do art with. Now, I will say, for this lesson, no paint. Dun dun dun. I just want you to focus on your drawing skills. So I'm going to ask you not to use paint for this lesson. However, there is part of our artwork this week that you can use paint with, and I will explain about that at the end of this lesson. So have a go at this warm-up. Before you start, let me show you my version. This was me having an explore with the mediums I have at home. I've also got it here in case you can see the colours a bit better. Maybe a bit hard through the webcam, but I had great fun doing this line making activity this morning. I had so much fun because I had lots of different mediums that I found around the house. Firstly, some colouring pencils, which I'm sure you all have somewhere. I've also got some fine liner pens. Now you might have some, they're very similar to gel pens, they've got a really fine tip. So that's a really nice way to add detail to our paintings, or to our artwork, sorry. I've also got, and you might have this, you're more likely to have it if you have little brothers and sisters, but also got some normal wax crayons, nice big thick ones here that I did some of these art making marks with. So if you've got some crayons, or if a sibling has some crayons you can borrow, then I recommend that because they're brilliant for different colours. And then the last thing I have, and you might not have this one, is I have some charcoal. But if you have pastels, like powdery pastels, you can use those as well. Oh, and I forgot one more thing. I think it's hiding. Yes, I've also got some oil pastels here, which are a bit like crayons, but they're slightly different. I wonder if you have both, maybe you can compare them and tell me what you think the differences are. So that's what I have, and that's exactly what I used to do my line making, my line drawing. So my favourite, I think, is my cloud, which I did using the charcoal, because I only used one stick of charcoal, but I explored doing soft lines and then really hard lines to define my cloud, which I really enjoyed. And also the swirly ones, I did lots of swirls, and I thought all the fine liners might be quite nice to use for that one because they're really bright and vibrant. And then I thought swirls, swirls make me think of ice cream, so I'll do a swirly ice cream as well. I wanted to show you this one though. This is my rain, and what you can maybe tell is I have got 3 different types of rain here. I've got 3 different types of rain because I thought, well, first off, I'm going to do some pencils, some colouring pencils. So I used a blue pencil, a dark blue pencil, and a grey pencil, because actually we think of rain as blue, but it often makes me think of grey, because often it's a miserable day when it's raining. So I've got quite a lot of rain there. And then I thought, well, actually, if I wanted my artwork to be a bit more cartoon in style, I could use more vibrant colours to represent the rain. It might not look exactly like the rain out of our window, but hopefully you can tell that this is rain. And for this one, I used the oil pastels, although you could get a very similar approach with the crayons. Now, the crayons I used to do my ocean waves as well, because I thought I would quite like a soft colour for my ocean waves, but I used blue, grey and green. And then this one, actually, I did this much later. I almost did this as the last thing I did. Because when I was doing this bit down here with the light, like a fading line, well, I blew away the excess charcoal and it made little spat marks all over the page. So I thought, oh, I want to experiment with that, because actually it almost looks a bit like rain. I think I'd have to do a lot more though. Have to go back and fill in some more. So that's your starter today. Have a go at experimenting, and I use lots of different things down here. How could you make different line marks using these prompts? And then once you've done that, pop back over here. Okay, so here is Peter Thorpe's brilliant artwork. Now, we're going to look exclusively at the forefront of his paintings today. So that means the objects in the front. It's often the first thing you see because he's really clever and he's made the focal point of his paintings, the object, by really thinking about what's going to be in his background and also making his object pop. How do you think he's managed to make that object pop out? Well, I think we were talking yesterday about how sometimes he uses black lines and sometimes he uses white lines around the outside, and that is one of the ways it makes them pop off the page. But I wanted to focus on the different colours he uses. Particularly, I think this one here with the blues. I really enjoy this one because he's got lots of different shades of blues working together, but he's still managed to get that pop arty feel by having blocks of colours next to each other, complementing each other. So that's what I think is brilliant about making his rocket ships pop out. So today we're going to be practicing this technique, practicing how to make our object in the middle of our paintings pop out. Because our paintings at the end are going to have an abstract background and a rocket ship in the foreground. And I'm really excited about seeing how you do that. But let's go on to today's task, because this is what you're going to do today. You're going to do a bit more experimenting, which means trying lots of different things and making lots of different choices. So what you need to do is select a planet to experiment with. So you can choose Earth, you can choose Mars or Jupiter. Jupiter's got lots of colours going on in there. And you can have a go at doing your own version on a piece of paper or in a book if you have one. Okay, here is mine. Here. Oh, it's really hard to see on there. But luckily, I thought about this. This is my version of Neptune. Now, if I was to do it again, I think I'd experiment about making it a bit darker to match this colour. But I've done my experiment here, and I've put down here exactly what I did in what order. So I did a light blue pencil first, and I coloured the whole thing. And then I got a blue crayon. I actually got two blue crayons. I got a light blue one, which you can see down here, and a dark blue one where you can see little specks in here. And then I went over it with a pastel to highlight some bits, like this bit up here, that's a bit of pastel. This bit here is a bit of pastel. And then finally, I tried this. It didn't really work, but I had a go with a fine liner. And it didn't work because actually on top of the crayon and the pastel, it didn't really work because the ink kept running out. It's like the tip got stuck every time I went over the top. It was really strange. So I think maybe if I was going to do another one, I would do the fine liner first, put that colouring underneath and hope it would come through. I don't know. That's something for you to try out. Remember, if you don't have any fine liners, gel pens are very similar. Okay, and here's a little tip for you if you don't have lots of different drawing tools at home like I do. Have a think about the shading and different firmness you could use using pencils. If that's what you've got at home, then you can absolutely create wonderful artwork with it, I promise. So have a go at doing your own version of this. I suggest doing the planet you choose 4 times, because then you can work out which bits work really well together, which bits complement each other. Really think about contrasting your colours and think about how you can make your object pop. How can you make that planet look almost real? Could you have an experiment with the outside like I've done, and I've done a black line around the outside? That's something for you to experiment. I would absolutely love to see this artwork that you come up with. Please email me a picture of your planet experimentation, because I really want to see and share it with everyone as well. And there is one more thing for you to do today after you've done your experimentation, and you can do this at any point today or tomorrow. What you need to do is have a look at creating a background for your artwork. So think back to Peter Thorpe's paintings. He's got a different background in each one, and they're completely different, but what links them is that they're all a little bit abstract. Now, I know we know loads about abstract art and abstract backgrounds, so that is your challenge. Can you make a background that in tomorrow's art lesson we are going to create our object to go on top of? And I say you should do it today, so that if you are using paint, because you are allowed to today, can you leave it to dry overnight so that tomorrow we're ready to put our rocket centerpiece straight onto it? Have a real think about where you are going to put your rocket. Are you going to make it so that your background has streaks of light, streaks of colour, so that it makes the viewer of your art look straight down into that rocket and making it the centerpiece? I will put up an example of my background on the website. I haven't included it because if you want to go completely solo and you want to have your own independent ideas and wow me with them, you don't have to look at my version. But if you're a bit stuck to get started, then I will upload a copy of my background to help you out with. Okay, have a fantastic time creating today. Please send me pictures of what you get up to, and have a very happy Wednesday. Bye guys.